Okay, so here is how I am going to be keeping track of my test strips, my ovulation test strips. So here I have cycle 3, and then CD, which stands for the cycle day, and then the time, and then here I'll just tape in my test strip. I'll note if it was low, high, or peak, and then if we baby danced. So yeah, this is how I'm going to keep track of everything, and I printed off about 3 of them. But yeah, here we go. The ovulation test kits are in. I'm so excited. Let the testing begin. Hey y'all, so it's cycle day 6. I'm about to take another OPK test, but I wanted to show you the one from yesterday. So here's the one from yesterday. It is very low. I do believe that I was still sort of on my period. I had some light spotting, but I think everything is complete now. You can sort of see a very, very faint line there, but let's take the next one. Okay, so I definitely did not come back and read this in time, but I knew that it was going to be negative or very low, just because I'm just coming off my period. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape this down, add in the cycle day, the time, and then low, and yeah. So it looks like we hit our peak. It hasn't even been the full few minutes. And you can tell that that control line, that first one, is definitely going to be darker than that second one. Okay, friends, we are back. So I am currently on cycle day 16. That last test that you saw was from cycle day 14. But I just wanted to come and show you guys what my test strips are looking like. So I'm thinking that I am all done testing, just because from reading research and watching videos that once you get your, high and peak, you really don't need to continue testing. So I am going to be saving the rest of those strips. In that box came in about 50. So I still feel like I have about 20 or more test strips left. So let's go through. Cycle day 5, I believe I was still a little bit on my period. I mentioned earlier that I felt like I still had some spotting, and so that was cycle day 5. Cycle day 6, I continued just to use 1 test strip, but then later you'll realize that I started using 2 a day, so you'll see 2 times in this box here. Mostly I was testing in the mornings between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. and then the evening test would vary from sometimes 2 p.m. to as late as like 5 or 6, I think, on some days. So yes, this is what my progression looks like over the cycle days. You'll see that it was very faint, of course, starting out, but then it got pretty dark on cycle day 6, and then it got really faint on cycle day 9, especially at that 1 p.m. time here. You can see that it was like really, really light. It continued to kind of vary, get darker and lighter, and then once I got to cycle day 13 at around 6 p.m. I got excited because you see that one is a lot darker, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like it's happening. And I didn't even put high here at first. I just left it blank because I wasn't sure. You know, this is my first time using OPK strips. So I just wanted to be cautious, but I felt like that line was pretty high. The next morning at 6 a.m. I took a test and I got my first positive. Very excited to see that. You can really see how dark that line was. So the control line needs to be darker or as dark as the test line, and so that control line was definitely darker. You see that on the next time that I tested later that day, it became a peak. And so a peak means that the control line is way darker than the test line, and you can even see it now that that test line is a little faint. And so that was definitely exciting to see. And so you see that I put a P here for peak. And then after that, a lot of the research says that you can stop testing, but I decided to test again the following morning just to see where things were. And then you can kind of see that it was still high, but that line to me at the time looked a little bit darker, like the test line looked a little bit darker. So I know I had passed my peak, and then I decided to take one final test, which was this morning. Like I said, I'm on cycle day 16. I took one final test, and you can clearly see now that that control line is much lighter than the test line. So I am all done testing. We will soon begin well, not really, but pregnancy test hopefully whenever I miss my period. I won't be doing a progression line for the pregnancy test just because my husband likes to be there while we're testing for pregnancy, and so I don't want to, you know, always have to have him around every single morning, sometimes twice a day, trying to get a test. So if we miss our period, we will be testing for pregnancy. Thanks so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.